Okay, so ready to like jump into something kind of complicated?
Uh-huh.
We are going to be looking at the connection between culture and intelligence.
Okay.
We've got this excerpt from a Japanese text
All right.
that's arguing that experts, their voices, should be prioritized in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So the title of this thing, hold on, let me see if I can get this right.
Yeah.
Bunka tuchi ni kansuru senmonka iken no jusei.
Wow.
Which translates to, get this, the importance of expert opinions on culture and intelligence.
It's interesting, right? The title itself kind of like emphasizes the weight given to experts.
Right away.
Right off the bat. Yeah.
It really does. So it kind of sets the stage for like the whole debate, right?
Yeah.
We're going to dive into.
Yeah.
Which is, when talking about culture and intelligence, we should listen to experts instead of just anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like before we even get there, we should pause on these two words.
Yeah.
Culture and intelligence.
Huge words.
They're huge. I mean, they can mean a lot of different things to different people.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, culture can refer to like everything from shared values and beliefs to, artistic expressions, daily practices.
Totally.
And then intelligence. Oh, man. Intelligence has been defined in countless ways. You've got problem-solving abilities, you've got emotional intelligence,
right?
Creative thinking. There's so many different ways to even think about what intelligence is.
So for this deep dive,
okay,
let's think of culture as like the shared ways of life.
Okay.
Within a specific group, and intelligence as like the ability to learn, adapt, and solve problems, but within a particular context.
Okay, that makes sense. So like specific to a certain group and then intelligence defined in that group.
Right.
Okay.
So now that we've got like those working definitions,
yeah.
What makes their voices so crucial in this discussion, according to, this source material?
Yeah, so I mean, from what I'm getting from this, the source seems to be saying that experts, they have all this knowledge, especially in fields like anthropology, psychology, and sociology.
Right.
They can provide like really valuable insights into how different cultures approach learning, problem solving, and even, like the whole concept of intelligence itself.
So it's not just about having like a degree or whatever.
Right.
It's about studying these very specific fields.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so then what makes like an anthropologist's perspective on intelligence more valuable than, say, my own personal experience?
So, I mean, think about it this way. An anthropologist, they might spend years and years researching a particular culture. They'll study its history, social structures, belief systems.
Wow.
And then from all of that research, they can offer these really specific insights based on like really rigorous observation and analysis.
Right.
Which can help us like move beyond, our own personal experiences.
Well, which are limited.
Which are totally limited. And potentially biased.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting from this, is that the expert's perspective allows us to maybe go beyond our own biases.
You're saying that expert knowledge adds a layer of like depth and nuance that we might not get from like everyday conversation.
Exactly, yeah. Like imagine, right, you're talking about the concept of intelligence across different cultures with a friend.
Right.
And they say something like, people in culture A, they're just naturally more intelligent. I mean, look, they excel at math.
Right.
And anthropologists might come in and say, well, hold on, we've done all this research and we found like culture A really emphasizes spatial reasoning skills from a young age. So they have different educational approaches and outcomes.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So that nuanced understanding, it can help us challenge our assumptions, broaden our perspectives.
So it's like, instead of just using anecdotes or, stereotypes.
Right, exactly.
We're grounding our understanding in research and data.
Yes, and I think that can be like especially important when we're talking about these really sensitive topics like cultural differences.
Oh, for sure.
Expert voices can help us avoid those like harmful generalizations.
Yeah.
And instead help us appreciate the diverse ways that intelligence can manifest across cultures.
That's really important.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, have you ever like encountered this? Like maybe you're with family and someone makes a comment about a certain culture and it's like a sweeping generalization, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Do you find yourself wishing you had some expert knowledge to kind of like back up what you're thinking?
Oh, totally. I mean, it's really tempting to just like, pull out, well, the expert said.
Right.
But what I'm getting from this source is it doesn't necessarily say just blindly follow expert opinions.
It's more about recognizing their value.
Yeah, exactly.
But not just taking it, as gospel.
And integrating those expert opinions into our own way of thinking about these things.
So it's not about, silencing other perspectives. It's about just adding to the understanding.
Yeah.
With expert knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. It's about finding that balance between, your personal experience, what you've seen in your life.
Right.
And then what the experts are saying.
Yeah.
So expert voices can provide that framework, but it's up to us to evaluate the information, consider different viewpoints, and then, ultimately make our own informed opinion.
This is where things get a little tricky, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Because who gets to decide who's an expert?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And could we, over-rely on these expert opinions?
Yeah.
To the point where we're discounting lived experiences that don't fit into, academic research.
Yeah, those are excellent points.
And
it reminds us that even experts have limitations, right?
Yeah.
They don't know everything.
Right.
So I think what we're getting at here is that it's important to engage with diverse sources, not just the experts, but, listen to personal stories.
Absolutely.
Get perspectives from within those cultures.
Right.
To get a truly holistic view of what's going on.
So we've got this tension between, lived experience and expert knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that leave us?
Yeah.
Right.
What do we do with that?
Practically.
Yeah.
As we're just out in the world and encountering all these different cultures and trying to understand, this concept of intelligence.
Yeah.
How do we strike that balance? How do we decide who to listen to?
I mean, that's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about being open, to learning from different sources.
Yep.
Being critical of all the information we encounter.
Right.
And then, ultimately forming our own, informed and nuanced perspective.
And maybe that's what we should take away.
Yeah.
It's not about blindly following the experts.
Right.
Or dismissing anyone's opinion.
It's about using everything, taking in everything.
Right.
And coming up with your own idea.
It's recognizing that, to understand all of this stuff is it's a lifelong journey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That requires, curiosity.
Yeah.
Critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And just a willingness to learn from different perspectives.
And realizing that even the experts are still learning,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, everyone, food for thought. We'll leave you to ponder that.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.
Yeah, keep diving.